With WrestleMania 38 firmly in the rearview mirror, it's time for WWE to start looking ahead to WrestleMania Backlash as it decides which feuds to feature on the card. After they attacked Bobby Lashley during last week's show, Omos and MVP appeared to form a new alliance. The two addressed their actions from the comfort of the VIP lounge. Cody Rhodes wrestled his first match on Raw in over 6 years when he took on The Miz, and AJ Styles battled Edge's new ally, Damian Priest. Let's take a look at everything that happened during tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom, Michael Bullock, fresh off another one of our legendary Raw chats as always. And let's not waste any more time. Let's dive on in. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan, the home of the NHL's Detroit Red Wings and the NBA's Detroit Pistons. And we started it off with Miz TV. And Miz's guest was his opponent here tonight, Cody Rhodes. And I'll say it like this. Solid. All right. Now, it still took up the first 17 minutes of the show. And while this could have accomplished the same thing in half the time, it was still nice to see the Miz and Rhodes both get a chance to speak before their match. It may have been too long, but this was still a decent opening to the show. So, we usually don't go too much detail into promo segments unless, they're of note. And there is one that definitely needs to be addressed. We'll get into that later. But so there you go. So with that, we're gonna get into our first match of the night. It was originally this was scheduled to be Veer Mahaan in his first match against Rey Mysterio, but for some odd reason, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they held him out to sell the effects of last week or what the story is, but it ended up being Veer Mahaan squaring off against Dominic Mysterio. Veer Mahaan wins the match in an even 2 minutes, and then just absolutely went to town on him after. This was more than Veer squashing a random jobber, but not by much. Rey was nowhere to be seen, so his son ended up suffering a post-match attack. The good news is Veer did look like the beast WWE wants us to see him as, so it'll be interesting to see how long he goes before he finally loses a match. It's not a D for dud. It's a D for delicious squash. And WWE really sold the attack by having the EMTs take Dom out on a stretcher. Are they writing Dom off? Was this a way to write off Dominic? I don't know. We're gonna have to, look into that. But delicious squash. That's all there is to say on that. And I know we're all in agreement on that. All right. Then we had the phenomenal AJ Styles squaring off against Damian Priest. And it ends in a non-finish. Lights go out. And then Priest poses under Edge's creepy lighting. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to rank this as an NA. All right. And the show cuts to commercial. We thought maybe the match was going to continue, but then that was it. We returned from the break and they just moved on as if the match ended. But the majority of the match was a lot of fun, but that weird ending completely killed any momentum the show had built up at that moment. So, but I do have some random. There are some notable things that do need to be addressed, and that is WWE. I think WWE may have kept AJ as a heel for too long. I think he's so much better as a babyface just due to his in-ring style, creating so many opportunities for the fans to pop. The moonsault DDT almost ended badly, but they saved it at the last second. Damian Priest is well-liked, but he still might be an underrated worker. He does a lot of little things to make his performance more entertaining. He gets it. And the way Priest sold the Pele kick was funny. But, man, guys, what could have been here? I mean, This was on its way to becoming a hell of a match. And then the lights go out, goes to commercial, and then they just move on. I don't get it. I just don't. But, you know, it is what it is. So, but I got a good feeling, though, guys. I got a good feeling. We're probably going to get Edge and AJ Styles in another match, hopefully at WrestleMania Backlash, and we'll definitely have some fun with that. All right, now we're going to get into this. It was Cody Rhodes squaring off against The Miz, and Cody Rhodes wins the match 11 minutes and 45 seconds. All right, this is finally something we can finally get into here. I'm going to give this about 3 to 3.25 stars. They worked well together because both of these guys are veterans, but it never felt like they got out of second gear. They were holding back because this match was not designed to steal the show. It was designed to further a different storyline. And after Rhodes hit a few of his favorite moves, he finished The Miz off with Crossroads for the win, and then Seth Rollins snuck up on him as he was celebrating, but he didn't attack him. And he was more interested in taking Rhodes up on his offer of a rematch, and Rhodes immediately agreed to it. Commentators noted that this was the first singles match between Miz and Cody Rhodes in 9 years. Rollins sat at the table but did not join the commentary team. And Miz with that old figure 4 spot, we all remember that. And Cody really likes a lot of the old school spots. And for him, reversing the figure 4 was a big moment. So this is definitely a 3 to 3.25 star match. The first relevant thing we can address here. Although some other things could have been addressed, but we'll just get into the star to AJ Styles and Damian Priest. But just as that was getting going. But nonetheless, MF, finally something to address here, something relevant to get into here. Cody Rhodes, his first Raw match in 6 years, defeats The Miz in 11 minutes and 45 seconds. And Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, they got a rematch coming down the line, and I got a feeling we're going to be the beneficiaries of that.
Yeah, it looks like we this could be in Providence, man. This fight could go down in Providence. It was a solid match. It was a solid battle. 3 stars for me. I like the body of work of both men. They really sold a lot of good stuff in the action. But at the end of the day, like you said, at the outcome was never in doubt. Cody was going to win it. I love the fact that Rollins snuck up on Cody, didn't attack him, which was a good move. And it actually, because you could tell there's a mutual respect between Cody and Seth. You know, you saw the handshake after, and even The Miz was alluding to it at Miz TV. You're not going to catch Seth by surprise the second time around. And I don't think we're going to see that. I think what we're going to see is a very competitive match. Seth already has tape on Cody this time. So you know he's going to want to continue what he saw from the first battle. You know, he probably has some strategy or some ideas of what they're going to do this time around. I think they did a really good job selling it. I think they did a really good job playing it up. And, you know, even the fans was eating it up at the end. So Cody definitely had the crowd by his side tonight. And I think, and even you could hear when Seth made that challenge to Cody, Cody didn't even hesitate. He said, yes, absolutely. I want it. You got it. You and me one more time. So it looks like there could be a collision course that could be heading to Providence. And if it does, man, oh my God. It's a good thing we got those tickets. We're locked in, boys. There's nothing that's going to stop us from that runaway train. So, so get ready. This could be a really good rematch at WrestleMania or Backlash. So, we got ourselves quite a matchup possibly going down. So, 3 stars for me. Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think this is definitely a good match. 3.25. I mean, I love the body of work of both of these men, and yeah, the interaction with these two. I mean, yes, this was definitely a good win, a good first win for Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw in 6 years, and yeah, you could just tell that there was a mutual respect between Rollins and Rhodes, and yeah, Rollins wanted him again, and like you said, Cody Rhodes did not hesitate. He said yes. He said bring it. So yeah, I get this good feeling that we're gonna be the beneficiary of this match at WrestleMania Backlash. So, and if and when it becomes official, I cannot wait for it. I mean, who knows? I think this could be a really good show, especially with one match that's already down for WrestleMania Backlash. But we'll address it another time. So, nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
All right, and unfortunately, we do have to get back into the cutout stuff here. But something of note: Monday Night Raw has a new addition, a very welcome new addition. Tommaso Ciampa is now exclusive to Team Red. Oh, what a coup for us, man! That is awesome. So I am very, very pleased. So welcome to the blue brand, Tommaso. We're happy. We're welcome to Team Red, brother. We're happy to have you. So, and he's been rumored to be a part of that faction with Edge and Damian Priest, and of course, another name for that was Rhea Ripley was another name being considered for that faction. But for the second time tonight, the old card subject to change comes up again. Because you remember, we were supposed to have Rey Mysterio against Veer Mahaan, but that got switched to Dominic. And here tonight, we were supposed to have a women's tag team championship match with Sasha Banks and Naomi defending their titles for the first time since winning them at WrestleMania against Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. No Rhea Ripley. I noticed Jimmy Smith on commentary saying that Rhea was in some sort of protocol. Now, I don't know if it's COVID protocol or any other, but it got swapped to a one-on-one match with Liv Morgan and Naomi wins the match in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So read into that what you will. Naomi and Morgan had a bit of a slow start to this match. They had a couple nice moves, but it felt like they lacked the chemistry we saw between Liv Morgan and Sasha Banks last Friday night on SmackDown in Milwaukee. But Naomi scored the win in under 2 minutes, and it's another instance of that dreaded WWE 50-50 booking with champions and challengers. And I got to say, there is so much marketing potential with Sasha and Naomi as a team. And WWE needs to make as much merchandise for them as possible. It will sell better than ice water in the desert. And the way Naomi pinned Morgan looked like it would legitimately keep most people down for a 3 count. So definitely got to keep an eye on that. Then we had the VIP lounge, MVP, and Omos. But Bobby Lashley came down and then they had their and basically MVP addressed why he attacked Lashley. But here's the thing. It was a filler segment. MVP didn't reveal anything we didn't already know. And Lashley just said what we all knew he was feeling. I think this should have been a quick backstage thing, not an entire segment. But it was so weird to come back to the show when Lashley was mid-sentence. And it seemed like someone was off with timing when he began. And even a big and tall store probably has to special order suits for Omos. So interesting. All right. Then we had Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champion, squaring off against Queen Zelina. Sorry, MF, we're not going to be bending the knee to your lady tonight because Bianca Belair wins the match 2 minutes and 10 seconds, KOD. But what happened after the match? Oh, this is definitely something we have to get into. And I know this is definitely something that Bullock wanted to get into. Short, uneventful match that did not show off what either woman can do, but it was never meant to be competitive. It was always just the lead into the reveal of who would be the next challenger for the Raw Women's Championship. Out comes Sonya Deville, and Sonya congratulated Bianca on her big win at WrestleMania. before having her sign an open contract. And after she signed, Sonya attacks her from behind. And yes, we know the match with Zelina was nothing special, obviously, but seeing Deville finally getting into the title hunt, I think it's going to be great. And the reveal was obvious from a mile away, but it still worked. And so, all right. Now, obviously, the match was probably a dud to one at best. But MF, what happened post-match, though? Sonya Deville, the first challenger for Bianca Belair in the Raw Women's Championship. Now, once she signed the contract and the way that she was hyping up this announcement, maybe you thought Asuka could have been coming back. Maybe Bayley could have been coming back. No. Sonya. Classic power.
That's the key word. You just said it, Anthony. Abuse of power. She absolutely just wound up everybody. Sonya Deville. Okay. This is where I think you're going to get a lot of a disconnect here. Did she really deserve an opportunity at the title?
No.
That's the realm of it. Because remember, as an authority figure to WWE, she's under both banners, Raw and SmackDown. The thing is, Sonya is more, and this is where there's a gray area. Because remember, she has interacted with women on SmackDown. She's interacting with women on Raw. For Sonya to, and even Adam Pearce called her out on this, and rightfully so. This is a situation that should not have happened. Should never happen. Sonya Deville took the pristine opportunity and inserted herself into a championship fight. No, first off, forget the win-loss record of Sonya Deville or even the opportunities that she has gotten, because they've been very few and far in between. This is the first time Sonya is actually getting a shot at a title in WWE. Because, as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, I don't think she's ever had a title shot in WWE. I think this is her first time ever she's having a shot at a championship. So, I get it where a lot of people are angry, and they are furious tonight. Because a lot of people is like, this should have been Bayley. This should have been Asuka. Maybe even Becky should have gotten another shot at the title. All granted. Each and every one of these people that you are yelling about, I am not griping about. Hell, you could even make an argument for Rhea Ripley to get a shot at the title. So, I get it. You're absolutely right. All you fans, IWC, YWC, all you people out there that are yelling about that Sonya does not deserve an opportunity, I'm with you 1,000%. You guys are absolutely right. This was a blatant, flagrant abuse of power by Sonya Deville. She outsmarted the EST of WWE. One of the things she always likes to say is that she was the smartest. Not tonight, honey. You were not the smartest. You got outsmarted by somebody one step ahead. Very rare that's ever happened to Bianca Belair. But her confidence, her overconfidence, got her caught in a net. And it was perfectly strung by Sonya Deville. Even though, And I know a lot of people are going to say she doesn't deserve this. She don't. She's never, ever, ever won anything relevant. Hasn't had any major victories under her belt that would make her championship committee worthy of a title shot. So that's where the bone is picking. And that's why I know a lot of people were hopping mad tonight. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. Sonya brings something to the table that many people hasn't had in a while. She brings a nuclear bomb, a nuclear heat bomb that she unleashed here tonight. There are going to be a whole bunch of people that's going to be rooting for Bianca to destroy Sonya Deville and to successfully defend this title, because oh my Lord, what will WWE, and more importantly, what will Monday Night Raw look like if Sonya Deville is the Raw Women's Champion?
Brace ourselves. Hell on.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it. And if that happens,
God help us all.
I'm getting my Undertaker shovel out, because I'm gonna bury somebody's ass 6 feet under.
You might need that. You better have that shovel on standby, because we might be needing it in Providence, Rhode Island, because chances are this is Providence, the Dunkin' Donuts Center might be the quote unquote battleground where this championship fight might be going down. WrestleMania Backlash, Sonya Deville versus Bianca Belair, Raw Women's title on the line now. So we might be looking at a major championship fight in Providence. We got one on the SmackDown side that just got announced on Saturday. And are we allowed to reveal it, or should we wait for that?
Hey, you gave me the platform the other night. I'll gladly give you the platform.
All right. It's confirmed, guys. It will be Charlotte Flair putting the SmackDown Women's title on the line against Ronda Rousey in a I Quit match.
And that alone is worth the price of admission.
And with that alone is worth the price of admission. That alone takes that championship fight to a whole new level, because like we were talking about, especially at WrestleMania, we thought that match should have been an I Quit match at Mania. We're getting it at WrestleMania Backlash. That match there could be amazing. So we'll see how that plays out. And now we might be looking at Bianca versus Sonya for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. So at WrestleMania Backlash. So yeah, the card for WrestleMania Backlash in Providence is starting to take a little shape here, and it's looking pretty damn good, to say the very least. So we'll see how this plays out. Michael Bullock, you were the one that wanted this. I know you had a few choice words. I heard you already partially referenced it to saying, Lord help us if Sonya wins the title. Like I said, blatant and flagrant abuse of power by Sonya Deville to basically rope herself into a world title match.
Okay. Sonya Deville, what in the blue hell are you thinking? This is blatant abuse of power. And for you to just simply throw your name into this Raw Women's title match when we thought maybe we were going to get a returning Bayley, a returning Asuka as a possible first challenger. Heck, even a rematch with Becky Lynch. I'd be all for it. But you insert yourself into this? Get the you-know-what out with that shit. I mean, completely blatant abuse of power, completely uncalled for, completely unnecessary. And yeah, Adam Pearce called her out on it, and he had every right to do that. But Sonya's like, "Oh, I'm a WWE official. There's nothing you can do to stop me." So I don't know about you, but she made Adam Pearce look like a total fool. But I mean, to me, and I know this is a long shot, but there's only one person who could overrule Sonya Deville.
And that would be the man who inducted your hero into the Hall of Fame.
Vince McMahon. That's the only person that can overrule this. But I don't think it's going to happen. So we're getting this, and God help me if she does win the title, watch out. Watch out. I'm getting my Undertaker shovel. I'm burying somebody's ass. Not only Sonya Deville, yeah, Phenom Rand, and I'm burying someone's ass. Not only Sonya Deville, but whoever came up with this ridiculous idea. I mean,
I think she's
what
just
the hell what the hell did Sonya Deville do to earn this opportunity?
Last time I checked, not a damn thing.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Yeah.
the only other time she was actually in the ring, if you remember, gentlemen, the last time Sonya was in the ring was in that tag team match when it was her and Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey and Naomi, and that was a SmackDown match, and Sonya got tapped out. She tapped out to the armbar she tapped out to the armbar by Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, and what happened before the match? We were all led to believe that her arm was still broken, and it was completely healed when she made that rule that Ronda Rousey had to fight with one arm tied behind her back.
Yeah.
I'm like, when will Sonya Deville stop at doing this? Unfortunately, we got the answer tonight. It's not going to stop. She's not going to stop until she gets what she wants. And it looks like it's the Raw Women's title, which, if that happens, she doesn't even deserve, she not only doesn't deserve the match, but she doesn't deserve the title at all. Period. End of story, end of quotation, end of statement. Sonya Deville, I got one little message for you. Go screw yourself, bitch. Florio, it's yours. I'm done. I'm finished with this.
Decaf, Bullock, decaf. Just kidding. But all right. Well, our as we always say, damn, Bullock, tell us how you really feel, but you just did. So oh wow, how do we follow that? Well, we'll try our best here. 24, yeah, there was some 24/7 silliness. And guess what? Next week, Monday Night Raw is going to channel the Brady girls get married here, because apparently we're going to have ourselves a double wedding and a double wedding date. It looks like next Monday night in Buffalo, we're going to see Tozawa and Tamina, Dana and Reggie. They're all going to tie the knot. And apparently R-Truth's an ordained minister now. Again, I say, God help us all. But we'll see what happens. All right, now we're gonna really have some fun with this. The final several minutes of Monday Night Raw. Yeah, we definitely had some fun with this. A renewal of a great tag team rivalry here. We had the Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Riddle squaring off against the former champions Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis, and it was RK Bro winning the match, 8.5 minutes, and then we'll get into the end then after. But But Michael Bullock, RK Bro, winning the match. Randy Orton with the game with the RKO on Orton's way of telling Chad Gable, "Shoosh, I thank you."
Yeah, that's become the new thing with us. But yeah, I mean, I'll give this match about I'll give this about maybe 2.5 stars. I mean, 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. I mean, I thought this was a good match here. I mean, it continues to give RK Bros some momentum. But yeah, I mean, we'll get into what happened afterwards. So nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Well, you know what we always like to say. It was a fun little sprint. I'll give this about 2.5 to 3. I believe that would be the best. The first for this first thing here. Fun little sprint. These two teams have been in several matches over the last few months, and while they always put on a good show, it's also an indictment of how small WWE's tag team division is. But Raw has so few teams that it needs to bring in the Usos from SmackDown just to give RK Bro a new feud. But the match was just fine. It just felt like something we have seen a lot recently. Orton and Riddle get the win. So Alpha Academy basically back of the line. They got to wait until another team wins the belts to chase them again. And then the Usos arrived, made their way out, and that led into the Street Profits coming out. And we'll get into all that in a minute. But no matter how long he does the same exact gimmick, the crowd will always pop for Randy Orton. He has a special kind of longevity, especially since his RKO is one of the most popular finishers in WWE today. And that took out Gable once again. So this was 2.5 to 3. This was a fun little sprint, no question about it. And MF, let's get a quick thought from you, and then we'll get into the major end then. Oh.
Yeah, no, this was a solid match. This was about 2.5 stars. And the thing is that, you know, these were two guys who really had a rivalry, who really had a battle. At the end of the day, they did the right thing. You had a nice little win, nice little victory. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed it. So yeah, it led to the next barrier, and oh boy, does it get interesting after this. So Florio, was yours.
Yep, and you know we're picking up with this right where we left off on the Cerebral Smack Talk last Friday night. You remember we talked about it, how Roman Reigns wants the tag team titles to get unified. He wants the Usos to unify the tag team titles with the Raw belts and the SmackDown belts. And well, it didn't take long for us to take that first step. Usos coming out and they issue the challenge to RK Bro, but then get interrupted by the Street Profits, and the Street Profits want a part of had a say in this, and then Randy Orton was like, "Hey, how about Usos and Street Profits go at it here tonight?" And that's exactly what we got. So it was the Usos squaring off against the Street Profits. Usos win the match, 15 minutes and 10 seconds. Yeah, there's no question about this. This was the fight of the night, no doubt about it. I'm giving it a solid 4 stars. This was an unbelievable match. As expected, this was a competitive match between two of the smoothest teams in WWE. Everything they do has an extra level of excitement to it because all 4 guys are so good. This match had hard-hitting strikes, power moves, and high spots galore. This was definitely the right match to book for the main event because the crowd was hot for everything they did. While all 4 guys did an outstanding job here, Montez Ford was the clear standout. He had the best spots and the most memorable moments. He's going to be a world champion eventually. It's a matter of when, not if. After a hard-fought battle, the Usos scored the win. This firmly establishes that we will see RK Bro versus the Usos with both sets of titles on the line at some point. And notable moments and observations. You know, Orton and Riddle sat at ringside but didn't join commentary. Maybe they didn't have enough headsets on Monday. I don't know. And you notice that Jerry the King Lawler was sitting in for Corey Graves while he's on his honeymoon with Carmella. and I felt that this was the first time all night that he was paying attention to the action in the ring. Montez Ford taking out both Usos with the Tope Con Hilo and immediately shimmying and dancing in RK Bros' faces was the best moment of the entire night. And the blockbuster Doomsday Device, the Profits hit to Jimmy looked amazing. Yeah, this was 4, teetering on 4 1/4. This was hands down the fight of the night, no doubt about it. But you noticed as the show went off the air, or as it was getting ready to go off the air, RK Bro and the Usos got in each other's faces, holding their respective tag team titles up in the air. I don't know what else there is to say except that Usos and the Profits fighting the night, no doubt. 4 to 4 1/4 stars for me. And MF, I mean, there's no doubt we're gonna get this tag team unification match. There's no doubt about it. But the big question is WWE gonna have the you-know-whats, the cojones, if you will? Are they gonna pull the trigger? And are we gonna benefit from this? Could we get this match at WrestleMania Backlash? If we do, again, I say, well worth the price of admission.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. That lasting image that we saw here tonight was the Usos with all the gold. The SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Raw Tag Team titles in their possession. They were the ones, and the ones stood tall here tonight, Anthony. I mean, that is a scary proposition. Historic, yes. I think we're about to witness history, guys. I think what they're making this WrestleMania Backlash, and I really honestly believe it, I think they're trying to make it bigger than WrestleMania. I mean, think about it. They're using the WrestleMania name to make this an iconic, legendary event already. Look at the matches already announced. From maybe Roman Reigns versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, to Cody versus Seth, Part 2, possibly happening. Edge versus AJ, Part 2, possibly happening. Now it maybe Omos and Lashley going one-on-one at WrestleMania, a rematch on that one. We got Ronda versus Charlotte, I Quit, already confirmed for the SmackDown Women's title. We got possibly, now nothing official, but these are all rumored, Sonya versus Bianca for the Raw Women's title. And now, possibly, not official yet, but it looks like it's going to happen. Title for title, winner takes everything. The WWE Tag Team Championships, Raw Tag Champions, RK Bro, SmackDown Tag Champions, the Usos, and the winners become the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions of the world. If you got the WWE Network around the world, if you got Peacock in the United States, you already know what I'm about to say. You know the words I'm about to say. But if you need anything more, go to Ticketmaster.com right now. Shut up and take my money, WWE.
Yes.
Because that's where we're at right now with this show. Just pay the $5 a month if you need to. Pay the $10 for the commercial free. Or do one better. There's still tickets available for this event at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. If you're in the Providence, Rhode Island area, go to Ticketmaster right now. call. There's a phone number, a 401 phone number, or one better. Go to the box office. They're open. They're letting people through. Go into the box office and get your tickets now. Don't wait. Don't be left behind. Please do not get caught with the SRO signs for this one, because they probably will be SRO by the night of the event. So that's all I'm just saying. Bullock, solid main event. About 4 to 4.5. It's yours.
Yeah, 4 for me for the main event. I mean, this was definitely a tremendous match, and yeah, I mean, the stare down with the RK Bro from the Usos, and I think I believe it's definitely gonna go down at WrestleMania Backlash. Title for title, winner take all. Man, oh man, I cannot wait for this. So there's really nothing more for me to add. So Florio, it is yours.
Gentlemen, I got some breaking news here. I just found this on Wikipedia, and I found it on WWE, and WWE.com has just made it official. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, WrestleMania Backlash. We're going to be the beneficiaries, gentlemen. We're getting it. How about it? So it's on. So, all right. So with that, let's get into our overall review here. MF, solid but not overly spectacular show. You know, we had a lot of filler nonsense, early, but the show did pick up some steam later on. But what we saw in the final, I want to say 40 minutes or so with the tag team stuff, I think that alone saved this show here tonight. So MF, let's get to let's start with you here for this overall review for this Raw from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit tonight. All right. Okay.
Overall review?
Yeah, the overall review for this Raw from Detroit tonight. Like I said, there was a lot of filler stuff early and whatnot, but I think the last hour.
It came pretty. Not so great at the beginning, not so great at the middle. Definitely came home with a banger at the end. 6 out of 10. I gotta be 6 out of 10. I'm gonna be a little nice with this one. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 for me. I mean, the final part of the show, especially the main event. I mean, definitely saved this show from being a train wreck and disaster. Because, like you said, we had a lot of fillers and a lot of nonsense. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. Show is very middle of the road, but the main event and Cody Rhodes versus The Miz were worth watching for sure. Solid show that somewhat effectively filled the 3 hours for the most part. I mean, we definitely like the direction of the tag title unification. The Belair and DeVille thing came out of nowhere, but it is what it is. So next Monday night on Raw in Buffalo, it was announced that Finn Balor will defend the United States Heavyweight Championship against the man that's going to be now known as Just Theory. He's not Austin Theory anymore. He's just now Theory. But you know who I mean. He's going to be challenging Finn Balor for the United States Heavyweight Championship and that women's tag team title match. We're going to get that next week as well. Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. So, and then maybe this double wedding stuff. We'll have to wait and see. So that'll be in Buffalo next week as we inch closer to WrestleMania Backlash. So I definitely agree. 6 out of 10. There's no doubt about that. All right. This is going to be a very brief Tony's take here because of the fact that what we saw on Impact Wrestling this past week, we know the story. It was basically a recap, if you will. It was a recap of the match of the multiverse of matches, and I already talked about that on the Cerebral Smack Talk this past Friday night. So I'm going to do a quick review of NXT Level Up. Javier Bernal against Guru Raj. Javier Bernal in 4 minutes and 27 seconds. It was a basic match that was worked well, if a little dull. It was all right. 1.5. Ivy Nile of the Diamond Mine squaring off against Thea Hale. And Ivy Nile in 4 minutes and 8 seconds. A little sloppy at the end, but Nile continues to roll, and Hale got the show a little bit. Another 1.5. Andre Chase and Bodie Hayward against Troy Donovan and Channing Lauren. And Andre Chase and Bodie Hayward win the match 6 minutes, 47 seconds. By default, the fight of the night. Tag wrestling works when you follow the formula, and that's what we got here. The crowd was crazy into Chase and especially Bodie Hayward. Nothing revolutionary here. It was solid. Crowd ate it up. 2 new guys looked all right, and at least it didn't look out of place. It was fine, so I'll give it 2 3/4 of a star. 6.5 out of 10. Main event was fun and nearly carried this to a good show, but we didn't enough from the other 2 bouts. Still a very solid edition of Level Up, so we'll leave it at that. So all right. So with that being said, let me see if I can quickly set the table for the next Impact Wrestling. We'll see if they did a. Yeah, I think they did. Let me see. Yes, they did. All right. So I can at least set the table for Impact Wrestling, and that's what I'll do here, since I'm not going to have a recap of it this time around because it was basically a best of the Multiverse of Matches special. So that was hosted by Josh Matthews. Go to MF's channel, Braceman 95, and the Cerebral Smack Talk, and you'll get all the results from me on that. Jonah is going to go one-on-one with Honor No More's PCO. Deonna Purrazzo is going to have her latest Champ challenge. And here's an MF special for your MF. I know you're going to like this. Ring of Honor, undisputed Ring of Honor champion Jonathan Gresham. He's going to go one-on-one with Rocky Romero. Now, there's a match that I know MF's going to have a vested interest in. And then from there, we'll also see Steve Macklin take on Alex Shelley. So you can get all that Thursday night, 8 p.m. on Access TV, 8:30 p.m. on the YouTube channel for you Impact Insiders for that membership thing. So, all right. So with that being said, that will put the bow on this latest edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, we'll be back with you Wednesday night at our usual time, 10:30, over on MF's channel, Braceman 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Madness. As we're going to recap a big edition of NXT 2.0, Championship Edition. There's going to be 3 title matches on NXT 2.0 tomorrow night. Cameron Grimes is going to defend the North American Championship against Solo Sikoa. Mandy Rose is going to defend the Women's Championship against Dakota Kai. And now we know the fate of the Tag Team Championship. A 5-team gauntlet match. Pretty Deadly, Legado del Fantasma, the Creed Brothers, Grayson Waller and Sanga. And I forgot who the other team was, but nonetheless, it will be a 5-team gauntlet match, and that winning team will be your new NXT Tag Team Champions. So we'll get into all that on Wednesday night. And of course, as well, we have also AEW Dynamite. They got a big week coming up of their own. That's going to be a big show in New Orleans on Wednesday night, as it will be Minoru Suzuki defending the Ring of Honor Television Championship against the Samoan submission machine himself, Samoa Joe. We're going to get that tag team match with Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks They're going to take on Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. And then from there, of course, we'll also have, as soon as I get my notes up here. I mean, those are the two. Oh yeah, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, the Jurassic Express. They're going to defend the tag team championship against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of Red Dragon. Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz against Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Daniel Garcia. And MJF against Captain Shawn Dean. This will all be Wednesday night on Dynamite. And let's not forget, we'll get into Friday in a minute. But so that's what we'll get into on Wednesday night as part of Wednesday Night Madness with MF. Thursday, TXN Sports World is going to be all about the NBA playoffs, the play-in tournament, and, of course, all the other playoff matchups. The playoffs are set. A lot of interesting matchups, to say the very least. And then, of course, we'll get into that on Thursday. Unless anything else comes up, we'll get into that. But the NBA playoffs will be our primary focus on TXN Sports World Thursday night. Special edition there. And then Friday night, Cerebral Smack Talk, starting around, 10:30 because of the early Rampage starts. So,
yeah, I'm thinking about 10:30.
All right, 10:30 Friday night.
Or actually,
what?
10 o'clock.
Okay, so immediately following SmackDown then.
Yep.
All right, that sounds good to me. So you heard it immediately for this week only, at least. But we got to wait and see how they do the playoff coverage. But anyways, for this Friday night, special start time of 10 p.m. immediately following SmackDown. Cerebral Smack Talk, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher. And we're going to do things different this time around. We're going to be starting with AEW Rampage, headlined by the biggest match in Rampage history to this point. Hangman Adam Page, Adam Cole, Texas Death Match for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So we're going to get into that. And then, of course, Friday Night SmackDown, which will be live from another one of our old stomping grounds here in New England. The old Worcester Centrum, Worcester, Massachusetts. That's where SmackDown's going to be Friday night. So that's definitely going to conjure up a lot of memories for us, because the Worcester Centrum was a major, used to be one of the big spots that WWE used to go to back in the day. A lot of house shows and other things back in the day. So it's going to be great to see the Worcester Centrum on Friday night. I know that for sure. I know it's like the DCU Center now, but we'll always remember it as the Worcester Centrum. So we'll get into all that on Friday. And then, of course, Ridiculously Raw right back here next week. And we also have some very exciting content that we're going to be sharing with you while we have a moment. As you know, when it comes to the world of sports, MF and I, we're fans of both the New York Rangers and the Chicago Bulls. And guess what? For the first time in forever and a day, both teams are in the playoffs. So returning once the playoffs start, we're going to have the return probably this weekend. We're going to have the return of the Bulls Corner. And then once the Stanley Cup playoffs get started, it'll be the return of the Rangers Roundup. Go on MF's channel, BraceFan95, and look at some of our old Ranger Roundup favorites. I especially recommend 14 and 15 because those were the 2 years of our lives.
I will say this. As of now, we don't know the schedule, but we do know that the NBA playoffs is to start this Saturday. So either Saturday or Sunday, we will have it. And then as far as the Stanley Cup goes, we will have to wait till literally possibly the first week of May. Yeah. So we're looking at possibly the first week of May
for the Ranger Roundup.
For the Ranger Roundup. So
and yes, MF. I also talked to Bullock earlier, obviously during our Raw chat, and he's definitely on board with doing those shows with you as well.
Okay.
The Bruins beat, because his team, the Boston Bruins, will also be in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and also his Boston Celtics will also be in the playoffs as well. And we're going to call that show the Celtics Chat. So Celtics Chat and the Bruins beat. Bullock says he's definitely on board with you on that, MF. So we'll I know you two will work out the details in due time. So So there you have it. So very exciting content coming our way. And who knows, maybe one of those shows, both of those shows, or all of those shows could coincide with a TXN Sports World. You never know. So
It could. Yeah, very much so.
yeah. So
We'll
get ready.
keep you posted. We'll keep our eyes peeled on the schedule. Basically, it all depends on how far these teams go. We could be doing this. We could be doing this for very little, or we could have a long run. There was one year where we did the Ranger Roundup, and it took us all the way to the final.
2014.
So, I mean, could it happen? We'll see. I mean, this team has a chance. They look good.
Absolutely,
there's definitely they definitely have a shot. So I'm not gonna say like other years where we're like, I don't know. It looks like the road's a little steep. This time around, we got a good enough team that we could see them make a deep run. This could be this Ranger team could make a deep run. We'll have to wait and see.
I hope so. We hope so.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. And then as far as the Bulls go, that is going to be a little more trickier, I must admit.
Oh, yes, because it is confirmed.
Very trickier.
It is confirmed in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Oh boy, MF, you want to talk about getting the short end of the stick here? I mean, the short straw. We drew the defending champs.
Yep.
We got to go through the champs.
Yep.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
And on top of that, we have not beaten them all year. Four times they played Chicago. I think two at home and 2 on the road, and they swept us all 4 times.
And they swept Bullock Celtics. Yep, and Bullock Celtics will be squaring off against the play-in winner, either the Brooklyn Nets or the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I will say this: you don't want to see Brooklyn, Boston. If you see Brooklyn in round 1. Oh, are you in trouble? I do not like your chances against Brooklyn. I do not like your chances against Brooklyn. I will say that. If they got to play Brooklyn round 1, I know we don't talk about upsets. That's going to be an upset. That could be an upset. I'll openly admit it. If it's Brooklyn versus Boston, it's going to be very hard for me not to pick Brooklyn in that series, especially when you get KD, Kyrie, and all those boys. Oh, boy. I don't like – and plus, Boston's got some injury concerns going into that playoff series. I hate to say it. I do not like Boston's chances. I do not.
Well, from what I can surmise here, it looks like game 1 of that Bulls series is going to be on Sunday, I think.
All right.
That's what time to be determined, obviously.
Obviously.
But on NBA.com right now. Some of the matchups that some of these matchups that have been confirmed. The Philadelphia 76ers will square off against the Toronto Raptors. That's the 4-5 in the East. You got the Milwaukee Bucks against the Chicago Bulls in the 3-6. Miami will get the 8 seed. Boston will get the 7 seed. In the West, Phoenix is the number 1, and they have the best record overall. They'll get the 8 seed. 4-5 matchup. You got the Dallas Mavericks squaring off against the Utah Jazz. Very intriguing matchup there. And then in the 3-6 matchup, you got the Golden State Warriors against the Denver Nuggets. And the Memphis Grizzlies, the 2 seed in the West. Wow. Can you believe that? They'll get the 7 seeds. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But so we'll find out. So we'll keep an eye out, and we'll let you know when it's going to all go down. So that will indeed put the bow on that. We had a little extra time, so we wanted to let you know those a couple of extra special things that are going to be coming down the pipeline here on the networks of TXN, of Talking Wrestling TXN and TXN Sports World. here on the Tone 25 and on Braves Fan 95. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for a big edition, for a huge Wednesday Night Madness over on the Mesh channel, Braves Fan 95. Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock, and of course the first lady of Talking Wrestling TXN, the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days, and until Wednesday for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.